Give us some of the highlights. What were some of the core things that you learned in this latest round of research?
All right. So first, before I get into what happened 2021 and what's looking to 2022, let's bring us up to date through 2020, because that was traumatic enough.
Yeah.
And the big news is 2.5%, which means that across the board for all of ECFA's 2,600 plus members, cash giving. Now we don't mean, I'm donating a truck. We don't mean I'm charging registration fee. We're talking about green stuff, whether given by Tithely or any other means. Cash giving went up from 1919 to 2020.
Wow.
So the first year of the pandemic, overall giving went up, and we actually historied it out 10 years. For 9 of the last 10 years, the average ECFA members giving has crept up just a little bit, like 1%, 2%, some years 3%,
right.
Which, American evangelicals are some of the most generous people in the world. And whether it was the 2008 financial collapse or bringing us up into the last decade, people have given. And frankly, with your online tithing stuff, they tend to give more and more consistently, which, is great for God's kingdom and for whatever local church or ministry there is.
Yeah.
So the first part of the report kind of tracks history of what happened, and we break it down by size and region and type of ministry and all that kind of stuff. And there's just pages and pages of fun graphs, because everybody wants to know, I'm a church that's about this size.
Right.
Tell me what happened with other churches like me.
Yeah, like my cohort of churches.
Yeah, I want to know, am I normal? And if we aren't, help me understand why. And just to give you the nickel tour in like 1 minute of what happened during the pandemic for churches, and I'll spill into 2022 on this, is 2020 started as a great year. Remember, 2019 was a strong year. Stock market did well. Churches did well. It was a good year. And 2020 began with a great roll forward. And there's optimism. And then the shutdown occurred and panic occurred. And like 2 weeks in, there was a big survey, not us, but somebody else said, so how's it going? And at that moment, giving had tanked because, everybody was in panic mode and lots of people hadn't signed up for Tithely. They were still, doing the passing the plate on Sunday, which wasn't happening.
Signing up for Tithely right in that moment.
I can believe it. Well, and initially everybody thought, this is just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so, well, maybe we don't need to go to online giving. Well, as the weeks tipped by, they did. So about May, we took our first quarterly survey and we said, where are we? And there had been a dip and there had been already the recatching up, but not equal. So in other words, April and May were much lower than January, February, March.